So a few weeks back, I posted a video talking about the fact that some people, some Duo 2 users, were needing to warranty out their Surface Duo 2 for various reasons. The reason, doesn't particularly matter in this context. And when they were going through this process, they were being told by Microsoft that Microsoft didn't actually have any more Surface Duo 2s in stock in their region, and then they were being offered a full refund for their device instead. Now, you could say, well, that's good, I guess, at least that Microsoft is going to give them their money back, but then if they want to keep using Duo 2, what are they going to do? Like, they're going to find one on eBay and hope that it's not broken? They're pretty hard to find right now, depending on where you are. So that kind of leaves people then having to buy a different phone, and a lot of people are very upset about this. Some people are upset about it even if they're not going through that process themselves. They're just upset at the way that this is being handled. They think that Microsoft needs to build more Duo 2s. Now, we've talked about that aspect of this a couple of times already, and I think I can drop a link in the description to a video where I talked about it more specifically, so I won't rehash that in this video. But we are going to talk about in this video is that warranty situation and how big of a deal is it? So what I did is I made a post on my community page asking people this exact question. Have you had to use your warranty to replace or repair your Surface Duo or Duo 2? And these are the results. Surface Duo 1, the result was yes, 10%. So 10% of 440 votes is what we got on Duo 1. Duo 1 no was 37%. So at a 4-to-1 ratio basically on this result. Now that does seem high. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Duo 2 though, 18% versus 35%. That is a much higher ratio. And that was very, very surprising to me. So both of these are, to me, they seem very, very high. But, you could have some weird stuff going on with the polling. People who've gone through this might be more likely to answer. People who haven't might not be all that jazzed about voting no, that everything's fine. So it may skew a bit worse, a bit harsher than it seems. But for right now, this is the data we have. So we're going to go forward with this and kind of talk about it in this context. But like I said, this is the surprising result. Now, you would think that Duo 1 would be the much higher rated device in terms of needing to be warranted for a few different reasons. One, it's just been on the market a lot longer. It's been on the market a full year longer than Duo 2. They've also sold more of them. Microsoft made too many Surface Duo 1s, and you can, if you don't believe me, just look at the fact that you can still buy them on Amazon right now for like $350. They're everywhere still. You can buy these things very, very easily at a low price. They made way too many of these things that were not initially sold at regular price. So these quote-unquote fire sales are still going on. This is a very long, it's a cold fire sale is what it is. It's been burning for decades, and it continues to burn. So there are more Duo 1s on the market for a longer period of time, yet fewer people are reporting that they've had to, warranty theirs out. We also have to consider that some Duo 1 users may have a cracked device that they just haven't bothered to do anything with the warranty on. They're just dealing with it. So there's a lot of possible problems with my poll. Okay, so I fully recognize this. But still, with all of these factors at play, Duo 2 has a higher rate of people at least voting that they've warrantied it out. So they've sent it back to Microsoft. I do also want to kind of take a moment and point out my personal experience with Duo 1, okay? The plastic around my charging port broke off like well over a year ago now. So that's a problem. And I know that some people have warrantied their device out for that exact thing. Another problem is it was unable to survive a relatively short drop. Okay, it cracked very, very easily. My Duo 2 has been dropped, I think, a couple of times now from a higher height. In fact, one time I was sitting here at my desk and I went to pick it up. I don't know what I was doing. And I somehow or another managed to just throw it like a frisbee across the room. And it landed about 3 feet that way on the floor. And it was totally fine. Duo 2 does, to me, seem to be a more robustly designed device. And yet, we have this result. Now, if this result is accurate, and it is true that more Duo 2s are being sent back to be replaced for this, that, or the other reason, this could be exacerbating the situation, right? They already had fewer Duo 2s than Duo 1s, and if more people are sending them in and needing to swap them out, and if the ones being swapped aren't repairable or maybe aren't worth being repaired, so they're not going to be effectively a refurb that can be used as a exchange for the next customer, this could be making that shortage a little bit worse. Too many users are basically going through two Duos instead of just the one. So that could be a piece of this puzzle. Now, like I said earlier, these results seem high to me either way, and I've already talked about, ways to possibly explain why they seem so high. But if it is in fact that high, and look, here's the reality. Perception is reality. And whether you're talking about devices like the Z Fold or Surface Duo, they both have a reputation for being fragile, for being devices that can easily break. And there are many reasons for this. A big reason is just basically a confirmation bias. Okay, I've said this a few different times, and this applies to the Fold, this applies to Duo. When a Z Fold screen cracks, people go on Reddit, people go on Twitter, and they make a post about it, and then people see it. Okay, when someone drops and breaks their iPhone, they don't do that. Okay, how often do you on the street see broken screens on normal phones? I see it all the time. It is extremely common, but nobody talks about it. No one goes and posts about it. It's normal at this point, right? But the same cannot be said about something like the Z Fold. So every broken Fold gets a post. And the result of that is that people go, oh my Lord, I don't see any posts about other phones. These Folds must be breaking constantly. And Duo and Duo 2 are kind of in a similar place. Go to the Duo subreddit. You see tons of posts about people having, issues big enough to warranty them out, whether they're software issues or hardware issues. There is a perception that these devices just don't hold up long term and that they need to be warrantied out. Now, my experience is kind of 50-50 on that, right? My Duo is, in a situation where some people would have warranted it. Now, I think it still performs just fine, and I have literally a screen protector on the back of my device holding everything together. A skin would be also a really good option to go with, and the broken USB-C port doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't affect functionality at all. My Duo 2 is absolutely pristine. It's in phenomenal condition. There's really nothing wrong with it at all other than some it almost looks like the clear coat is peeling on my bumper basically, but that's not really a super big issue. But at any rate, with these sorts of results and this sort of public perception, this may lead people to be maybe less likely to purchase what is essentially going to be a first-gen hardware again with Surface Duo 3 that we now believe pretty strongly that it's going to be a folding OLED device a la the Z Fold line. So you're going to have a cover display and then an opening up folding OLED screen on the inside. This is going to be a new design. Again, their first time working really and releasing a device with a folding OLED screen, building a hinge around that design. So if there's already this perception that Duo is sort of a fragile device that needs to be warranted out, there's also a perception that Z Folds are devices that are kind of fragile and need to be warranted out. People might just not want to buy a folding OLED Duo 3. They may see this as not being the best of both worlds, but being the worst of both worlds in terms of durability. Guys, there's a lot to talk about and to think about here on this subject. Hopefully I've brought something interesting to the table. Drop your comments down below. What do you think about all this? The warranty situation, how does it make you feel about Duo 3, the shortages, so forth and so on. Hit that subscribe button also before you go. Check out the link down below also to save money on your cell phone bill at mintmobile.com. They are my partner in life. I am apparently married to Mint Mobile. Guys, I'll see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.